Radyo Ronda sa syudad sa mga kampiyon. Live to the world pinaagi sa FB page karon mag-download na. Pinaagi sa Google Play o Apple Store, YouTube o Twitter. Alang sa mas kipakuskan nga mga balita, komentaryo, kasayuran o kalingawan. DXDX Size 93 ang mas kipakuskan nga inyong Radyo Ronda.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
With the rising cases of COVID-19, many of us are once again asked to stay at home, which means less physical activity, sitting too much, and more trips to the refrigerator. Staying at home keeps us safe from the virus, but it may lead to a more sedentary lifestyle and unhealthy behaviors. On today's show, we'll talk about how to keep ourselves healthy during the pandemic. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and MedTalk Health Talk is your connection to healthcare. We have to do our part to prevent the spread of the virus, but we also have to look out for ourselves. To help us with this, let's welcome our guests. With us is Dr. Joanne Roser Liboon. She's a family and community medicine specialist from Ala Valley Medical Center in Coronadal, South Cotabato. Also joining us is Coach Jay Garcia. He's a registered nurse and fitness coach to celebrities such as Miss Alice Dixon and Bea Alonzo. Thank you both for joining us today on MedTalk Health Talk. Now, let's talk about some of the habits that we've acquired during the quarantine. Let's revisit those because staying at home for prolonged periods of time can actually pose a significant challenge in terms of remaining physically active and eating healthy. Now, this can have a negative effect on our health as well as our quality of life. Now, we want to remind our audience. Dr. Joanne, remind natin yung ating mga audience, how can we stay healthy habang nasa bahay?
Kasi diba, Doc, common problems naman ngayon is yung change, ang dami nag-change, yung diet, yung sleeping habits. Sleeping habits, ang dami kasi nga, normally, we're outside of the house, working, mas active tayo, but because of the pandemic, mas nagbago. So, mas less yung activities, yung mga food, tapos dagdag pa yung stress and worries natin because of the pandemic, it added also to the problem. Ang nagkakaproblema tayo sa tulog, the choices of food that we eat. So siguro pinaka-common na problem ng tao, di ba yung tulog talaga di ba usually dapat 7 to 8 hours. But siguro kasi nga ang dami nating time, sometimes we take naps on the morning, sa gabi iba na. So yung work natin nag-extend dun sa usual na working hours natin. So, nagiging cost din siya. Siguro balance lang talaga of everything. You have to set everything in order.
Isang pagbabago doon is when we're at home, we often tend to reach for the easiest meal available. So, this can be junk food, minsan processed food, or anything that doesn't require a lot of cooking time. Now, the best advice that we can give, of course, is in moderation. Katulad yung sinabi niyo, Doc Joe, paminsan-minsan is okay, pero dapat merong moderation with that. Now, I'd like to go to Coach Jay. Paalala natin sa ating mga viewers na kung ano ang tamang healthy food items para hindi nila makalimutan ito.
Okay, so first of all, if possible, dapat yung food natin is coming from fresh variants. So it may be fresh vegetables or fruits. No, so but during the lockdown period, it's hard to source those. So what we can do is we can go for frozen variants like frozen fruits or vegetables. It may be less in a little amount of nutrition and minerals, but much better option siya than getting processed foods.
So eating healthy definitely is important, Coach Jay, no? Pero marami nagsasabi, dapat ba healthy all the way? What's your opinion on having cheat days?
Kasi cheat days, based on a theory, it's a reward-based diet strategy for you to attain a certain fitness goal or diet plan. So the misconception about cheat day is you can eat all you want without limits. Okay? So we need to correct that because cheat day should be also in a fixed time or calculated amount. For example, if I will take soda, I'll limit myself for 1 cup or half glass. Why? Because you have to, the discipline and the accountability should still be there. So it will not disrupt your diet plan when you return to it.
Oo, so importante talaga may discipline and accountability. Very true. Now, another thing during this pandemic na baka hindi napapansin ng maraming tao is what is called coronasomnia. I'd like to talk about this with Dr. Joanne. Explain natin sa mga viewers kung ano ba itong coronasomnia at ano yung connection nito with the pandemic as well as our ability to get good quality sleep.
Again, Doc, di ba yung healthy habit of sleeping should be 7 to 8 hours a day? But because of the pandemic, like I've said kanina, parang change lahat. And there are actually studies made regarding this. And yung pinakagrabe na na-identify talaga is actually the anxiety and the stress caused by the pandemic. Kasi 'di ba, at the end of the day, we try to make everything normal naman. Sa umaga, we keep ourselves busy para lang masustain yung life natin. Pero at the end of the day, pag gabi, dadating tayo dun sa point na nag-iisip tayo ng problema. Anong mangyayari in the next few days, anong mangyayari sa atin pag tumagal to, and that's where start yung stress. Yung homeostasis, yung normal na function ng katawan, nag-change dun sa stress. So yun yung tinatawag natin na coronasomnia. So doon siya nag-connected yung sleep mo dahil dun sa pandemic, pumapangit lahat kasi nga ang dami nating iniisip.
Bukod sa stress, ano ba yung mga ginagawa ng mga Filipinos that may hinder them having a good night's rest?
During the pandemic, Doc, diba?
Right.
Nagbabago lahat. So yung usual natin na routine, hindi na siya pareho ng dati na lumalabas, tatrabaho, tapos yung sipa, yung mga food intake, pwedeng isa din yung reason bakit nag-change. Dapat hindi tayo pwedeng matulog na sobrang busog or gutom kasi at the middle of the night pwedeng madidisrupt yung sleep natin. Hindi din tayo pwedeng take ng caffeine, alcohol, or anything with nicotine before sleep because it will disrupt our sleep also.
That's true. Now, having a good night's sleep, we can't stress this enough. Importante ito, not just for your overall well-being, pero sa recovery ng katawan, especially if you're doing a lot of physical activities. Kaya napaka-importante ang rest and recovery. Coach Jay, ano bang mga tips ang pwede mo bigay sa ating mga viewers for them to have a good quality night's sleep?
Of course, you have to plan your day ahead of time. So it lessens your anxiety during the day. And of course, set up time to sleep talaga. It's not like you sleep late today, then tomorrow iba na naman. So make patterns for it. Kasi for that, makaka-develop ka ng more healthier habit.
A good night's sleep has a lot to do with your overall lifestyle, and that includes being active, which has many health benefits both physically as well as mentally. Now, when we return, we'll focus on strength training exercises that don't rely on anything but your own body weight. So stay with us. This is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines, where your care always comes first.
Ang Boses ni Juan 2021 ay hatid sa inyo ni
Mr. Eugene Tata Alzate.
Mr. Eugene Tata Alzate ng Glan Sarangani Province.
RPN DXDX General Santos.
Physical activity and exercise can have immediate and long-term benefits. It can enhance the quality of our lives. Now, we're here to build a healthier future for you. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Exercise benefits not only our bodies, but our minds as well. Now, 10 to 15 minutes of movement can already burn significant amounts of calories as well as reduce stress. Now, one type of workout that you can do at home is called calisthenics. And all you need is you. Coach Jay, explain natin sa mga viewers kung ano ba itong calisthenics at paano ba ito nakakatulong sa mga tao ngayon?
Okay, so calisthenics is a form of strength training conditioning exercise which consists primarily of basic movements like pushing, pulling, squats, rotation, lunges, hinge, and gait patterns. So basically, ginagawa na natin to in our everyday lives, no? So this type of exercises, we usually perform it rhythmically with little to minimal set of equipments.
Okay, so ayan yung maganda sa calisthenics, you don't require any fancy equipment, you just need enough space to move. Now, Coach Jay, anong mga benefits na ito? At ito bang calisthenics ay marerecommend mo sa entire age group?
So calisthenics is usually used to promote muscular and aerobic conditioning for our body. So it also promotes development of psychomotor skills like balance, agility, and coordination. In terms of recommendation naman, it's for everyone, but of course, any type of exercise before you start it, you have to consult your doctor or a licensed professional coach. Kasi some medications or medical conditions or muscle imbalances may hinder the programming of the calisthenic program. So we might consider some things that might not be good or bad for you.
Now, before we move on, let's discuss briefly some of the minimum health and safety protocols again. Dr. Joanne, magandang ma-remind natin ng paulit-ulit ang audience natin about these minimum health protocols.
So, apat dapat. Ano yung una? We have to maintain hand washing and hand sanitizing. Pangalawa po, yung pagsusot ng tama ng yung face mask natin. At pangatlo, yung pagsusot ng face shield. At pang-apat po, yung pag-maintain ng social distancing or pag-avoid muna ng mga parties na hindi naman ganun ka-importante sa ngayong panahon po.
Because COVID-19 spreads from person to person through respiratory droplets primarily, so wearing a mask not only protects you, but the people around you as well. Apart from face masks, face shields can be an additional layer of protection against the virus. Dr. Joanne, are face shields really necessary?
Additional protection po yun, Doc. Kasi nga, di ba, when we're in a crowded place, not just in a hospital, pwede pa rin yun. Kasi napapansin naman natin, not everyone wears their mask na tama. So, pwede yung additional layer yun, that's to protect you and the other people aside. Kasi yung nalalabas na hindi na masyadong nakakover ng face mask mo, nalalabas, naging aerosolized sila, which is pwede yung mag-transfer dun sa kasama mo or na hindi naka-face shield or pwedeng ikaw ang mahawa or mapunta sa'yo. So, sa ngayon, lalo na meron tayong Delta variant na mas madali, mas advised pa talaga na magpa-face shield pa rin po, lalo na if we're on a crowded place.
Recently, we've been hearing about double masking or wearing two masks instead of one. Dr. Joanne, anong science behind nito? Paano ba ito effectively ginagawa?
You can wear the surgical mask una, tapos on top of that, you can wear a snugly fit na cloth mask, yung tama yung pagkatahi, para ma-secure na covered talaga yung face mo. But the CDC though does not advise yung double mask na surgical mask. Kasi kahit i-layer mo yon, kung hindi siya naka-cover enough o hindi na protect yung side ng faces mo, pwedeng makapasok, hindi pa rin siya talaga pwede. So pwedeng hindi din advise yung naka-KN95, tsaka may dagdag na surgical mask. So it's either you wear your just regular na surgical mask, yung pwedeng i-tie knot siya sa both ends para ma-secure na covered siya, or just make sure naka-cover siya sa face, or just can wear your KN95 alone and wala nang iba.
Dr. Joanne, please remind our viewers again how important it is to get vaccinated.
So responsibility natin, yung hand washing, face mask, face shield, yung share responsibility na ng mga government is yung mga contact tracing, tapos yung isolation. Yung another naman na ginawa nila is for the vaccination. It is offered to us to protect us, parang dagdag siya na shield para sa atin. Hindi man ito nag-o-offer ng 100% ng protection, but rest assured, pag bakunado ka, kahit nagkaroon ka ng COVID infection, pwedeng hindi ka magkaroon ng sintomas. Pangalawa, maiiwasan natin yung severe kind of COVID na pwedeng mag-lead sa death. At pangatlo, babawasan yung chance ng makahawa po tayo.
Yes, very good. Now, Coach Jay, when it comes to physical fitness, how often should someone do exercises such as calisthenics? Healthy ba ito gawing araw-araw or may interval ba dapat?
It will always depend on the intensity of your exercise. No? So the guidelines suggest that you also don't need to do too much of exercise during this pandemic. So you want to stay at least easy to moderate but more frequent. So at least mga 20 to 40 minutes of activity should be consistently every day should be enough.
This was a very interesting conversation with both of you. Thank you very much, Family and Community Medicine Specialist Dr. Joanne Roser Liboon, as well as Health and Fitness Coach, Coach Jay Garcia. Now, vitamin C and zinc play important roles in our nutrition, immunity, and health maintenance. But what are things that we can do to boost our immune system? More on these when we return. Your health is our mission. This is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines.
Commercial and industrial equipment supplies ba kamo? Mag-MKM Marketing na! Ang MKM Marketing ay dealer ng mga European, Taiwan, and US brands ng mga sumusunod. Goulds Pump, Deep Well and Shallow Well Type. Submersible Pump, Generator, Single Piston Engines, Yanmar, Kubota, and Mitsubishi brand. Farm Tractor, at mga electronic na motor. Tumatanggap din sila ng estimates and after-sales services. Magaling at mapagkakatiwalaan ang kanilang mga staff na tutulong sa inyong mga pangangailangan. Kaya't ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Punta na sa kanilang tanggapan na matatagpuan sa J. Catolico Avenue, Lagao, Ranting Robinsons, General Santos City. Maaari rin silang tawagan sa telephone number 552-2851 o di kaya'y mag-email sa mkmmarketing28@gmail.com. Basta di kalidad na serbisyo sa abot kayang presyo ng mga commercial and industrial equipment supplies. Mag-MKM Marketing na! MKM Marketing, ang sagot sa inyong pangangailangan.
RPN DXDX General Santos.
It's been more than a year since the pandemic started, and getting vaccinated should be our top priority, but we should still continue to follow health and safety protocols. That means eating well, getting enough rest, exercising as much as we can, and taking your vitamins. Let's welcome Dr. Antonio Ligsay. He's a pediatrician and molecular medicine specialist from Stada Fern C. Thank you for joining us today on the show, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
I'm sure a lot of our viewers are very familiar with vitamin C because vitamin C is indeed a essential vitamin. But hindi ito nagagawa ng katawan natin. Our body can produce it, pero marami itong mga benefits. Could you name some of these, Dr. Antonio?
Vitamin C is a free radical scavenger. Yung free radicals natin are the molecules which attack our body and produces a lot of effects in the body, like ranging from cardiovascular effects to decreased immunity and decreased wound healing. So it is very important to have a good source of vitamin.
That's very good to mention. This is a free radical scavenger. Does this have something to do, Dr. Antonio, with how vitamin C can protect us from diseases?
Yes. Since the free radicals are the ones which attack our body, vitamin C acts on these free radicals. Therefore, you are protected from diseases like infections. It hastens your wound healing, and most important is it's good for overall health.
So good for overall health talaga ang vitamin C.
Yes.
Pero sa kaalaman ng lahat, vitamin C isn't actually stored sa katawan natin. So
Yes.
there's a very minimal risk of someone overdosing from it. How much vitamin C is enough, Dr. Antonio? And what happens when we get too much vitamin C?
Generally, it's about 500 milligrams to 1 gram daily, but 500 milligrams is the one recommended. It is a water-soluble vitamin, so it's excreted from the body. However, prolonged intake of very high doses will not be also good for you. So it's best to stick to the dose which is recommended, which is around 500 milligrams per day.
Ngayon, Dr. Antonio, I'm sure a lot of our very savvy viewers, whenever they buy vitamin C, napapansin nila na some of them come in different forms. It usually comes in the form of ascorbic acid. However, some supplements contain other forms such as sodium ascorbate.
Yes.
Pag-usapan natin itong sodium ascorbate, Dr. Antonio. Can you tell us more about this?
Those are the two forms of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, and as the name connote, it is an acid, which means it can produce gastric irritation. However, the ascorbate form, which is the other form of vitamin C, does not produce gastric irritation. So it is best to take in the ascorbate form rather than the acid because you won't have any abdominal pain.
So, in other words, Dr. Antonio, does this mean na ang sodium ascorbate is better tolerated by the
Yes,
body?
that's
in
true.
general?
It's better tolerated and it's friendly. It's friendly to the stomach.
Okay, now vitamin C and zinc naman play very important roles in providing adequate nutrition as well as immune defense. Ngayon, Dr. Antonio, what are some of the added benefits of zinc naman para sa ating immunity?
Zinc has been extensively studied to promote or to increase immunity. This is very important for what we're experiencing right now during the COVID pandemic. Yes, we do have to get our vaccine, but because of the breakthrough infections that we are experiencing right now, and we see vaccinated people getting COVID again, it is very important that you increase your immunity because this will prevent you from having a more severe form of the infection. So zinc, together with vitamin C, act synergistically to boost your immunity.
Okay, so marami talagang itong benepisyo ng vitamin C. Although a lot of our viewers maybe take their vitamin C first thing in the morning, yung iba bago matulog, yung iba pagkatapos kumain. Is there a best way, Dr. Antonio, for one to take their vitamin C?
It doesn't matter whether you take it in the morning, noontime, or evening, but I always recommend to my patients to take it in the morning. Why? It's because you develop that habit. When you wake up in the morning, the ascorbate form is friendly to your stomach. You can take it right away and have your breakfast. That way, you develop the habit and you don't forget taking your vitamins, your supplements.
Okay. Ngayon, Dr. Antonio, huwag natin kalimutan yung mga bata. Ang vitamin C ba with zinc is also good for children?
In fact, vitamin C during the infancy period, we start vitamin C starting at 6 months old. Zinc has been shown to be beneficial for patients with diarrhea. In fact, it is recommended by the World Health Organization to give zinc for 2 weeks after an episode of diarrhea. So this can be given to children even during infancy.
Okay. And ngayon, syempre, uso na ngayon ang cold at flu. Can vitamin C with zinc help prevent the flu or even COVID-19, Dr. Antonio?
There are a lot of studies also published in very good journals that vitamin C and zinc does prevent common cold and pneumonia for that matter. For vitamin C, they found that in people who are stressed, they found out that giving vitamin C increases the level and prevents common cold. Zinc, on the other hand, has been shown to prevent pneumonia and decrease the symptoms of pneumonia. So it is very important to take this vitamin and this mineral for our overall health.
Okay. So marami talagang sources din ng vitamin C. Let's remind our viewers again, Dr. Antonio, kung ano yung mga good food sources ng vitamin C.
We always need to have a good and balanced diet. Vitamin C can be obtained from fruits, from green leafy vegetables. Zinc is from poultry, from seafoods, from shellfish, from grains, and from red meat. So what we're saying is that anything less is bad, anything in excess is bad. So we need to have a balanced diet, and everything I said should be taken in moderate amounts.
Very well said. And with that, I'm sure our discussion was very helpful sa ating mga viewers. Thank you very much, Dr. Antonio Ligsay, for joining us today. Getting vaccinated is our #1 protection against COVID-19. But on top of this, we still have to stay healthy and follow minimum health protocols. So remember to eat healthy, exercise, follow social distancing, and wear your mask at all times. We want to be your partner for a lifetime of good health. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this has been MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines.